Hello everyone, my name is Brayden and welcome to a special episode of Mickey Views News, where we are going to be bringing to you today the day-by-day unofficial opening schedule for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World. Of course, we know the land officially opens August 29th, but there are a bunch of events that are taking place in the land well before then. In fact, there's already stuff happening in the land right now, so let's get into it. Now, believe it or not, Galaxy's Edge is going to have a month of previews before the land opens on August 29th. And you're probably saying, a month of previews? Why isn't Disney just opening the land earlier if they have so much time for previews? Well, there are a few theories. There's likely still going to be a lot of construction and final touches being done during all those previews, but many cast members have been asking that same question as the park operations event calendar for Hollywood Studios from now leading up all the way till the opening of the land has been floating around. And here is how Galaxy's Edge will go from its current construction site state to being a living, breathing, out of this world adventure in just 1 month. Right now, this very second, cast members are already being trained in the land. Smuggler's Run is up and running, being tested by cast members, and all this is already happening because starting next week on August 1st, cast member previews will begin in the land, with cast members from around the resort going in to preview the land between August 1st through August 16th. Then Disney just confirmed this, starting on August 17th, Galaxy's Edge will be having previews for select Walt Disney World annual pass holders, and those will be happening from August 17th till August 21st, and the emails for that sign up should be going out to pass holders soon. So that's 16 days of cast members previewing the land and 5 days for pass holders who are lucky enough to grab a spot, and then we'll be in the 1 week lead up to the official opening of the land, which means it's press time. So from the 22nd through the 26th, there will be media previews in the land where various teams of media personalities, radio stations, blogs and such, they actually get to go in and preview the land. And then on August 27th, we have the famous empty day you always have in the lead up to the opening of a land, where there's a possibility for a soft opening of the land, which would be awesome to the general public, where you can just go in and actually preview everything before it opens. And then on the 28th, we have the dedication ceremony for the land, followed by the official opening the next day on August 29th, where I'll be there covering everything happening for you in a vlog that day. So excited for that. Now, this is such a deja vu moment for me right now, because I was sitting right here last summer when we went through the opening schedule for Toy Story Land that was virtually identical in terms of the lead up a few days before the official opening. The media events end, then there's a weird empty day, then there's the day for the dedication, and then the opening day after that. Now, at the time, we thought that empty day perhaps Park Ops would decide to do a soft open, and they did not. They did do a soft opening though for Toy Story Land, but instead of being on the completely empty open day, they did it on the land dedication day once the dedication was over, because the dedication doesn't take nearly the entire day. It doesn't take very long. Now, if they do a dedication as elaborate as Disneyland's with Galaxy's Edge, where it was at night with pyro and celebrities, then I think we're more likely to see a soft open on that empty day, the day before the dedication in this case, because they'll have to set up all that special infrastructure all morning. And then, of course, if the dedication's at night, that really leaves no time during the day to have a soft opening on that dedication day, whereas you do have the empty day on the 27th. So all that is to say, if this land does have a public soft opening, it's likely going to be on the 27th, or since this land has so many previews in the month leading up to the opening, perhaps park operations will deem a soft opening not necessary, although I heavily suspect they will deem it necessary, because they have to have a really good idea of how this land behaves in normal operation with normal Walt Disney World guests before the 29th when the tsunami comes, because despite whatever you've been hearing about soft crowds in Disneyland, that is not going to be the case here when this opens in Walt Disney World, because this land opening doesn't have the same pass holder blockout issues. Unlike Disneyland, Walt Disney World is a ticket package resort, not a pass holder resort. The majority of Disneyland's target demographic is locals who are pass holders, whereas Walt Disney World's, on the other hand, their main demographic is families on their once every few year family vacations with pass holders mixed in. And all of those resort hotels and all those families on ticket packages wanting to get in, compounded with all the locals and pass holders wanting to get in, August 29th is going to be one wild day in Walt Disney World, and I'm so excited to cover all of it for you guys. I'll also be in Disney on the 2 potential soft opening days. Of course, the empty day as well as the dedication day, August 27th and 28th, just in case the land does soft open. Maybe we can build that lightsaber before the massive crowds. Either way, it should be a lot of fun. Speaking of the opening, the tunnel entrance from the Grand Avenue next to Muppet Vision 3D is now open. The Millennium Falcon concept art graphic that had been covering the entrance is now gone, as Disney preps Batuu for its first visitors starting August 1st, with those cast members member previews. Let me know what you guys think about all of this opening schedule stuff with Galaxy's Edge and Walt Disney World. One last thing of note, the Hollywood Studios Fast Pass tier changes. The situation is now you'll only be able to get one ride Fast Pass with Galaxy's Edge now open, and then the other category is for shows. And a lot of people are upset about this, and the fact is, I really don't think they should be, because based on the projected crowds, this is the only way the park will operate properly with Galaxy's Edge. Think of it like this. Hollywood Studios is going to have, I'm just guessing, let's say for example, somewhere around 60,000 guests trying to get into the park on that one day. And from what we know, the hourly ride and show capacity for the park is somewhere around 22,000. So that means in any 1 hour, if the park is nearing capacity or has 60,000 guests, only 1/3 of those guests will actually be able to experience a show or attraction in any 1 hour. But if there are less fast passes, aka less people skipping the wait and being thrown back out into the park, it means more people in the regular standby line for shows and rides, which means less people crowding up the pathways around the park, more time spent with people in attractions and shows, meaning Disney can let more people into the park while also maintaining a good guest experience. The reason Fast Pass exists is to actually keep people out of the lines, so they're buying merchandise, buying food, things like that. But merchandise and food are kind of second tier right now when Disney is just trying to keep the park operating normally with such big crowds coming into Galaxy's Edge. Hence the Fast Pass tier changes we've seen come to Hollywood Studios. This stuff is all just crowds related. It's just a crowds related measure. And if the Galaxy's Edge crowds end up being lower than expected, or if things quiet down by mid-September, which I think is likely given how historically low crowds usually are in Disney in September, I think it could lead to us getting the more traditional Fast Pass Plus ride tiers back at the park in the future. It just seems like a precautionary thing right now in case the park really is getting near capacity on the daily after the opening of Galaxy's Edge, which is definitely a possibility. We've talked a lot lately about the price hikes we're seeing, what we saw with the annual pass rates and how much they increased, and this is really something where if Disney increases prices to be consistent with demand and prevents too big of crowds actually coming into the parks as a result, the guests who do still go will be able to get better fast passes, there'll be better tiers, there'll be less crowds, but that all comes at a cost, literally, so definitely some interesting things to consider there. How does Disney balance the pricing with the crowds to keep a family vacation possible for as many people as possible, while also not making it too easy where the parks would instantly fill up with tons and tons of people? I really do think park operations has already learned a lot about the crowds in Galaxy's Edge from seeing how Galaxy's Edge is performing out in Disneyland and how it worked and how to do things better with the queuing systems. There's probably gonna be virtual queuing and all sorts of things to make it a little easier and a little more enjoyable for guests. So hopefully things will go really smooth with this opening, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Let me know your predictions on how this opening is going to go. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe with those notifications on. Lots more videos on the way. Thank you so much for watching from the Mickey Views Magic Studio. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.